Hey everybody, J-Man here for another Space Opera Versus. And this is it was going to be the finals, but it's not. There's going to be one more Versus before we get to the actual tournament. This is like the longest tournament in the history of the world, but that's okay. We're having fun doing it, and I think you're having fun, so that'll be good. We're doing StarCrash versus Galaxina. So, or you could say Dorothy Stratton versus Caroline Monroe, however you want to look at it. But I guess they'll play a part in artistry. We'll see where everyone stands on that. Now, I put a poll up in the chat so you guys can answer that. And just quick show stuff. We're going to be doing another live stream on Tuesday. That's going to be the wrestling talk, the weekly wrestling talk. So that'll be good. And then next week, I got to find out what's going on with the streams. We want to do, we're going to do the People's Choice Awards or whatever, the People's Choice. They wanted Krull and Ice Pirates. Everybody was upset that Krull and Ice Pirates got booted out and didn't qualify. So one of those two is going to be back, and we're going to find out next Friday which one of those two it's going to be. So that'll be super exciting. But in the meantime, let's bring in our first panelist. Hello.
What's happening?
All right, so I'm excited to hear. I'm the most excited to hear from you about this because you haven't seen these before.
Yeah, I hadn't watched these. Yeah,
so this will be good. Yeah. I've seen them both a few times, and I owned them when they came out. So I don't know if Sean has. We'll find out when we talk about the backstory. So let's bring Sean in. Howdy-ho.
Yep.
Steven couldn't make this one. He Galaxina was on Tubi, but then we lost it on Tubi. But in the States, they still had it. So Charlie was able to catch it off of Tubi. Sean, you rented it with.
I rented it from YouTube.
You rented
the dumbest
it with money.
system I've ever seen. It's like, because you rent it and you have a month to watch it. Within that month, though, once you start watching it, you only have 48 hours. So I guess that's standard everywhere, but it's really dumb. I've never rented anything on one of these services before. I'm like, that's stupid. Just give me a window and I can watch anytime in that window.
Yeah, that's weird.
And not 48 hours. Like, if you're giving me a month, give me a month. Who else is, like, it's not like I have to return a physical thing. What's your
point? Yeah. You know, nobody's waiting for me to bring this copy back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. That's weird. Yeah. But I was going to warn you to just bow out of this one because whatever you paid for Galaxina was probably not worth it.
No, Galaxina is awesome. Shut up. It's
okay, good. No.
You know I watch tons of stuff like this, so I know you have it.
Oh,
like, yeah, it's cool. It's whatever. Listen, they're trying, you know.
Were they?
Turn on the red filter, you know. It's like, and then they explain it, and the thing is like, the red filter means that it's daytime.
We're gonna get to that.
That was great. I couldn't stop laughing when he had to explain why they had to do this. You know, nighttime is just normal. Okay.
Why does this look weird right now? It's like,
oh my god.
And yeah, StarCrash, man. Well, we'll get to the backstories in a second. Okay, so you rent, and now StarCrash you had seen before, right? Do you have this?
Yeah, no, you showed me StarCrash.
Oh, I showed you StarCrash? Of course.
And StarCrash was the one where on DVD I refused to buy it at I don't know, I was in a funny mood. We're at a convention, like a comic convention or something. And I refused to buy off a guy because I felt he was charging too much. And then I left. And then you were like, well, Sean, I have it and you don't. And then I was like, no, I learned a valuable lesson that day.
You did learn that. And this isn't because I took it.
And then you can't buy it anywhere.
I was going to say, did J-Man yoink and then run away again?
No.
Not on this one. And the thing is, whatever that guy was charging for StarCrash, it was worth it. I don't know what the number was, but it doesn't
like $40 on a DVD or something like that. Or $50 or something crazy.
That's super worth it. Look,
You could buy comics with that, man.
No, don't
I think that same one I bought like almost the entire run of ROM, so
right.
so that was well worth it. Yeah.
And Charlie's shaking his head. You can stop. You can stop that right now.
I'm fine.
Let
I'm
me tell you
fine.
something. It costs $24 to see Eternals in the theater, right?
Ouch.
And then it costs $20 for popcorn and drinks in Canada. So Sean spent $40 on Eternals,
watching Eternals,
and that's the worst film of all time.
Yeah.
If you use that logic, I'm with you. I got you. I feel you, man. I see where you're going.
Okay, Carolyn Monroe is hardly covered for the entire movie, and then
you
know what happened? Literally, there's some parts where she's fully covered because the producers were like, "Wait, they weren't watching the dailies or anything," and they're like, "Wait, is this what she's wearing throughout the whole movie?" Like, yeah, and they're like, "We can't market this."
Yeah, you show me what TV station this can play on.
Yeah,
this won't play anywhere, and they're like, "Well, we already filmed it; it's over." And it's like, why do you think we got Carolyn Monroe? Like, what do you think's happening?
Right? Yeah, we're not going to cover that up.
Right, and then they're like, well, you need to do something. So that's why there's like inexplicatory, like she'll just change into a different outfit that's like fully covered. You're like, oh, okay, and you're like, I guess, and they try to make it make sense, like she's on the ice planet, so okay, she's got an ice gear on or whatever, but
kinda. Then she has a superhero outfit at the end. And it's like,
oh, so good.
I don't know.
I mean, these two and Barbarella, that's like
awesome. You're not wrong about that. I would have rather watched Barbarella.
Well, Barbarella I love Barbarella.
Oh yeah, you can't knock Barbarella. I mean, they're literally made because of that movie. So I mean, you got to do what it is. But I don't know. I told Jay, man, before we were starting, I had a really spicy take tonight, and it was I think I'd rather watch Space Mutiny on repeat than either of these two movies.
Oh my god!
Really?
Oh my god, dude!
No way.
I think these are more fun than Space Mutiny.
It took me 2 sittings to get through StarCrash.
Oh wow!
And and then I sat down and watched Galaxina today.
Yeah,
and I was like, wow, okay. I know who I'm picking for a lot of this, and I have clear, but it's literally like I could write these two movies on separate pieces of paper, wad them up, throw them in the air, catch one. That's our winner this week. That's how it's like. I have no favorite. I have no hated. I love David Hasselhoff, and I love other things about Galaxina. Exactly. It's Hoff and Carolyn. That's about it. Although, and we can get into it as we get into the movie, but oh god, I have comments.
Okay, well, so let's start. Okay, so you know what then, Charlie, why don't we just start with you then?
Right, because I have no backstory because it's this week.
It's this week. So there's no backstory. So basically, we're doing this space opera thing. You watch those two movies. That was it, right? Have you heard about them before, or?
Now I had heard of Space Crash.
Yeah.
It was just StarCrash, Space Crash, Space Mutiny, all this. Boom. Enemy mine, all that stuff. That's fine. It's starting to run together. But I had heard about that one because it's probably the one that's more famous for people calling a ripoff of Star Wars because it like came out directly after. There's lightsabers in the movie. There's a lot of stuff in there.
There's the robot guy.
The robot, and the filmmakers are like, no, it's not. And I'm like, bullshit. Stop it. It is. But I've heard of it. But Galaxina, I think just because of knowing like Barbarella or She or any of those other like movies that had just like the gorgeous goddesses on the covers, Galaxina just kind of got lost somewhere in the thing. I'm sure I've walked past it, but never watched it, especially after I watched it today going, the hell am I watching? So that's my backstory. I wish it was longer, but it's not. So I'll save it for the breakdowns of space.
All right, Sean, what's your backstory on these?
StarCrash and Galaxina, I passed them both as a kid, but you told me about StarCrash and showed it to me. And I love Carolyn Monroe anyways, like Hammer movies. No. And I think I probably saw her first in Hammer movies, but I noticed her. I noticed her first in Golden Voyage or Sinbad.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I was like, this must be the hottest woman in film. Like, what the hell is this? Like, oh my god! Like, it's like, and in that movie, everyone's mega downplaying it, and I'm like, what? And, you know, because it's for kids, right? So they're all
Yeah.
trying to like rescue her at the end and everything, and she has more of a sisterly relationship with all the with all the crew on that ship. But like in real life, that's bullshit. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, my God, this woman must be in other movies. And I tracked down a whole bunch of other stuff, and I have a secret shelf of Carolyn Monroe.
Nice.
Come on. So yeah, when I saw this, I was like, how did I miss this? Oh my God, like she's in this weird thing. Like you could see the features of her torso and everything. It's crazy. And I don't think they like put makeup on her rib cage or something, but it's like mega shadow detail, and I'm like, holy god. I liked StarCrash enough, and the Galaxina, I saw it today, so I thought it's okay. It's another low budget thing. I appreciate the effort. Avery Schreiber has to Avery Schreiber. He just has to do his thing. But yeah, he's a forgotten dude now, but like he looks like the 70s. So anyway, yeah, but I don't know. I don't have a lot of history with these. But I like this weird era of like the weird. I don't know. It's like the weird science fiction space space like sex movies. Like there are a whole bunch of these weird things. I used to watch them. We have a station here in Toronto called Showcase, and he used to play these old, I guess they're like produced in either the UK or Canada, these old like sci-fi weird things with a lot of weird sexual innuendo and stuff in it, and women that are dressed hot but nothing really happens,
Right.
and there's all sorts of like, I want to bang you and all that, but nothing ever happens. There's a whole kind of subgenre in the early 80s of this kind of thing. I don't know what the hell happened there, but yeah, and these two are part of it. So
All right. Well,
Yeah.
see, I'm a good friend. I showed you StarCrash,
yeah.
and I didn't show you Galaxina. So that's really I'm a really good friend. No, so StarCrash. Yeah, I had to have that movie, of course. I've got Sinbad. I've got the James Bond movie. I don't know what other movie. She's been in a lot of stuff. But those are the
Yeah.
three big ones.
Yeah.
So just the other day when we were talking about the space opera stuff, I was like, well, you know what? Let me check up Carolyn Monroe because I knew StarCrash was coming out. And I found her website, and she's still going. She does conventions and stuff, and she does autographs off her website. So actually, I'll show you the ones that I ordered. So this is just off the website. So then she does it and then writes the thing. So this is the first I ordered two. So I got this one. And so see, like it's actually like a kiss. So it's like actually the mark is left on.
I like that. I like
right?
that.
And then
Yeah.
so it'll say to Jason, whatever, right? And then I got this one, which is I've never seen this photo before.
Wow, I've never seen that still.
Is that from
that's original? That's from StarCrash, and that's
StarCrash.
That's an original photo that's just on her thing only. This is a stock photo.
Yeah, I've seen that one quite a bit. I think that was on IMDb too. I've
That's
never seen that one.
Yeah, this is her own. So I thought that looks really cool.
I like that one. That's more of a frontal shot of her face. I love that look on there.
I love that one too. So I was like, well, I'm gonna get this one for sure. And then I saw it was so cheap. I thought I may as well just get another one because it's so
Why not? I'm already here. Save on shipping.
Right. Hey, Phantom.
What's going on, man?
For watching 2 votes, StarCrash. Yeah. People. So I like StarCrash from the beginning, and I remember I had done. I think it was this. I'm going to double check while we're talking here. We did a day. So you know how I would do those movie days, movie marathons at my place, and we did the 2 Hercules movies and StarCrash at the same time.
Yeah, I thought it was just the 2 Hercules movies.
I'm not. Well,
because those things killed. Like everyone there was crying with laughter.
Right. But the thing is that it's the same director.
Oh, okay.
The Lufring Hercules is the same director. I'm just checking to make Luigi Cozzi, and you look at it, you're like, he did Hercules. He did Adventures of Hercules Part 2. He did Stendhal Syndrome. Wow, that's awesome. So and he did StarCrash. And I think we watched those in the same day. And I didn't realize it was the same guy. And then Owen from the Action Elite was like, "Oh my god!" It's like it's the same guy. I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "This is just so random. I'm having to pick that." Yeah, those are so Phantom. Those are off the website. They're 25 pounds each, and it's 9 pounds shipping to Canada. So after conversion to Canadian, it was like 96.97 for two of them.
Dear
So,
UK, call your money something else, please. Thanks.
yeah,
I
well,
always get thrown off by that. Like the 400-pound book or whatever. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
yeah. So it's about
Pounds.
double. It's not. It's just it's about double.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Clobberin times it wants. I know. I already. It's like I was fighting him over that. He was like, "Say no, Jit," because last night on Clobberin, were you there? Yeah, you were there, Sean. So before that, it's like it was all about like Carolyn Monroe. So
on Wednesday, he was apparently freaking out about Carolyn Monroe.
No, so what happened is that he had just bought Tomorrow's TWO Tomorrow's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of their magazines, they have so many. I don't remember which one it was, but maybe Retro. So on their magazine, he literally had just bought issue 19, and issue 19 is StarCrash Carolyn Monroe like retrospective or something.
Okay.
So he didn't know this. He didn't know, like, we didn't have a talk about it. So he's just talking about this on his channel. I was like, holy shit, I just ordered the autograph. We both had ordered the same thing at like the same time. I was like, I just got the autograph for StarCrash. I just rewatched StarCrash. I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
So then we were talking about how awesome that was or whatever. But yeah, so StarCrash I always liked. Galaxina, I bought it I was super excited to have it because I always wanted it. And then I watched it, I was like, ugh. I'm like, but then I'm like, it's kind of cool, I don't care. And then Good Bad Flicks did a thing on it and talked about Dorothy Stratton and the whole thing with her boyfriend. It was like this murder-suicide thing. I was like, whoa. And I'd realized that the DVD had gone way up in price because it's out of print. You can't find it. And then even StarCrash, the Stella Star book, there's a novel, which is now $300 and out of print. And I was like, do I own Galaxina? I was like, yeah, I know I own this for sure. And I was like, oh, thank God I own it. I think you can get it as part of a 2-pack with another movie for about $40 or $50 on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Now, that might help the movie because they did try to do some cool things in Galaxina, which we're going to get to when we break it down. But yeah, I liked both those movies. So and I told Steve because Steve hadn't seen Galaxina, and he had to rent it. And I was like, why don't you take a bow on this one? I said, watch StarCrash because he's already seen StarCrash because he saw StarCrash at my place.
Yeah.
And I said, just take a break on this one, Steve, and come back next week because I wouldn't pay money. I mean, I would pay money for Galaxina because I did pay money for Galaxina. And I want the poster too, but like, yeah. Anyway, we're going to get into it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to do space just to explain it to everybody for the 100th time. Story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. We're going to, instead of ranking them and giving a score out of 10, we're going to compare them to each other and see which one wins in each category. At the end, we're going to add it all up. That's it. It doesn't get any more simpler than that. And then next week, we're doing the Ice Pirates versus Krull. And then the week after, the real game begins.
Now we dig into the meat.
Now we're going to get in there and do some good comparisons. And after this, Sean and I are already going through the fantasy one.
The fantasy listing. Yeah.
There's going to be the Mad Max tournament, and then there's going to be like the fantasy one. So Charlie, if you're in for that one, you're in.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm enjoying
fantasy
these.
Man. Yeah.
Oh, I'm having a blast.
Too. Yeah. Sorry.
If we take a break for holiday or something, I don't know if we're going to roll right into it after.
Yeah. We'll take a break.
I mean, it is watching 2 movies every week.
Yeah.
On top of I already do a movie podcast.
Right. Yeah.
Who knows if we start the Action Elite up again? We're going to have some full schedules coming up here soon.
But look how good look at the quality of what you're watching.
Oh yeah, I had such a blast this week with my selections.
Oh my gosh! Oh man. Don't hot take me on this, man. I can't.
I dropped my hot take. It was I would rather watch Space Mutiny than either one of these again.
No, I can't.
I get Red Brown. Okay, it's fine. I just get Red Brown in Space Mutiny and Disco. So I would have been fine with all of that.
I'll have to think about that. Well, definitely not StarCrash. I have to think if I could do it with instead of Galaxina.
Galaxina, yeah.
But that part of the should wait 31st century Galaxy Android. Yeah, I know. Marc, he's supposed to be speed up table. Oh, I love Cherry 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
I have that on
I
Blu-ray.
consider that in the apocalypse kind of movies.
Yeah,
you know,
that'll be in there.
yeah.
Exploitation, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It's still good, right?
I don't know. I think
don't
Cherry
know. I have
2000
to
might
think.
be a little too good.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about. Yeah, I've got the because Basil Podoris or whatever did the soundtrack to that, and I've got the CD soundtrack for freaking. I have a lot. We don't talk about soundtracks. I've got a lot of weird official. I have Bad Taste, the soundtrack. They released that.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, like Charlie, I'm gonna have to send you a list once of the weird crap that I've got. I have like it's an official CD. This isn't bootleg. I've got the official soundtrack release of Bad Taste.
What the heck songs did he put on there? I thought he
It's-
did like 90% of his own stuff anyway.
There's songs like it's the background music and they got the bad taste in my mouth.
Right, yeah, and he wrote that little
taste.
jingle. Yeah.
That's on there.
That's insane.
But Cherry 2000, it's done by the guy who did Conan, Destroyer, and Clobberin, which is my favorite thing. Hey, I knew Clobberin Thompson was going to
There he is. We were just talking about him. Yeah.
Clobberin, these are the two autographs I got. I got this one and this one. Just to let you know, your future wife is sending me pictures.
And kisses.
With mouth kisses, yeah.
With kisses on them. But no, Basil Podoris is awesome, and Cherry 2000 soundtrack is freaking really awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it came with what's the other one he did? Oh, it's a Charlie Sheen movie. Oh, is there a post-apocalyptic?
There's The Getaway, there's The Wraith, there's Navy SEALs, there's I don't know if he did a post-apocalyptic. He did Young Guns, he did Outsiders. He didn't do Outsiders. He did
I'll tell you right now.
Apocalypse Now or Platoon.
No Man's Land.
No Man's Land.
So Cherry 2000 and No Man's Land came as a 2-disc soundtrack. I got those.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Huh.
So
it's the same year as Wall Street. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
He was working a lot. There was a lot of movies that he was just like The Wraith. He did that on his way, I think, to do Platoon. He stopped and did it, and then went down, and then kind of got in trouble for doing it because they thought it was going to hurt his, his billing ability, for selling movies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Repo Man, that's a good one.
That's going to, yeah. Okay, so let's start with story. Let's check the poll. It's StarCrash. 4 votes. It's 100% StarCrash. Wow, that's. Okay, so Charlie, you're gonna have to try to come up with this. Who do you think had the better story? Or who do you think had a story?
Yeah, that's the thing. Which one had a freaking story? The only story I could follow was Galaxina.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on in StarCrash. It's like, here is this person, and now here's this person, and now you're following this person, and now we got David Hasselhoff, and there's a bad emperor, and I'm like, now we're on this planet, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I just don't get it. It didn't even like follow any kind of like structure, like even like for them to copy Star Wars, they didn't even follow a Star Wars like structure. Nothing. Galaxina, at least I went, okay, I can at least follow this because it's insane. Yeah. That's all I can say about Galaxina is that story and movie itself is insane. But they're cops, they're following something, they get sent on a mission because they're the dumbass crew, and they have to go get a crystal and bring it back, even though everyone that sent them is dead now. But I get it. And the robots trying to become more human. Yeah, exactly. The blue crystal.
Are you a comedy or are you not? Like, what is this? Yeah.
So that's my biggest issue with Galaxina. Are you a comedy parody of sci-fi? Are you a freaking porno, or are you a sci-fi movie? Right. And it's all three of those put together. When that stupid hologram pops up with those two dudes talking to the secretary girl, it's like, you've been in space for so long. I'm like, what is this? That's the first time I realized it was rated R.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, you're kind of winning now because you're R-rated at least. I know I can at least have adult comedy. And I like Captain Butts. He's probably my favorite character in the movie.
Avery and Trevor.
Yeah, which I always remember him from Robin Hood Men in Tights as the
Oh,
guy
yeah.
that collects the castle. You know, it's just how I remembered him.
I just remember his Dorito commercials. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
gosh.
if I have to pick one that had a story, it's Galaxina. That's my answer for that.
All right, Sean.
Yeah, that was going to be my answer too. Because the thing about StarCrash is that I guess there is a story, but the thing is, it just gets lost in all. It's just a clothesline to hang all the other stuff on. That's it. And the problem with that is that they're fighting these Amazon women on a planet, and I'm like, that's cool. How did we get here again? I can't remember, man. And it's like, oh, they went to find another down ship for survivors, didn't find any, and now have this adventure with these other. Okay, Jesus Christ, I had to really strain my brain to figure that out. And then later on, it's like, oh yeah, Hasselhoff. What? Why are they here? Oh yeah, to find another survivor. God damn, what is this thing? And it's like, is their mission to find the survivors or to destroy this planet or both? I think
It's both.
it's all there. But the thing, it's like you'll remember this, J-Man. It's like what's the name of that movie? Charlie's Angels 2. It's like that movie, when you watch it, there is a succession of things. There kind of is a story. But at the end of that movie, the movie ended, I turned to you and said, what the hell was that about? Like, I was like, what happened with those rings again? And, and like, I think
it was just scene.
It's just scene. And it's like,
That's
they don't
all
make
it was.
anything gel, right?
Yeah.
So to me, Galaxina, I could follow it from the half hour mark onward. Then suddenly there's a story. Because like for the most of it, they're just farting around, comic relief bull crap and like stuff that doesn't pay off. Like the one guy eats rocks, and I was like, okay, well they're gonna be in a dungeon where he can eat his way out, right? No. There's a big monster who's gonna kill. No. It's like the monster just gives them the keys. Like it's not even so. It's like there's more of a story there though, because they have to find the blue star. And that's it. They have to find it from that guy, that cool looking dude. And he's bad. And they have to find that's I can follow that. And when she's on that planet, I know why she's there. It's not lost in all the stuff, right? So yeah.
All right. Well,
I don't know how they can survive in the red, because they made this big explanation like you can't go there. Only Galaxina can go on the red thing, and then at the end they're on his bike and there's no suit or anything on him. I'm like, I guess whatever. I don't know.
Okay, so I'm saying StarCrash. I'm like, it's like a way better story. Look, everything you guys are saying, it's like this is all happening. You're like, yeah, but nothing makes any sense, and it's like it's all stupid, and everything that they do is just like, yeah, you can't go on the red planet, but now we can. Okay.
Like, but I can follow that. I couldn't follow StarCrash.
I could follow StarCrash. They had to rescue the Emperor's son and destroy it. It was literally Star Wars. He's got that,
to fly the city into the fist or
cool.
whatever.
So both
stories,
so both movies had garbage stories, but there was better scenes in StarCrash that were cooler. It's like I'm like,
but that's another category to me.
Sure, but
that's not story. Story is you got to get me from the beginning to the end, and which one did I like better? Galaxina.
Okay, you got to get me to the beginning to the end, but Galaxina is boring, and I don't care about anything that's going on. And there's a story. They're both equally bad, poor in story, but I cared more about what's going on in StarCrash. They could have all died. We'll get to characters. They could have all died. I'd be like, all right, well, they're all dead. Who cares? So I'm like heavy duty, like story on this one. We can go with I'll start with pacing since I'm already on it.
Sure.
Obviously, StarCrash is better paced. Galaxina is boring. Like it's just talking, nothing happens. Talking, nothing happens. I love you. You love a robot now. Okay, I guess. And it's like I don't know. It's just super boring. I like it because I like these crappy movies, but like I have to watch it in 2 sittings. I'm like, yeah, I can't do a full sitting on this. I'm like, and they're short. They're both short movies.
They're not long movies
They're
at all.
super short.
They're
But,
not.
How
like,
long is StarCrash? Because I know Galaxina is like 84 minutes or
StarCrash
something.
is like 90 minutes, I think. Does it
Yeah.
say on here?
Barely
And yet,
an hour and a half.
one feels longer than the other.
Like, to me,
No,
Galaxina felt like it was forever and a half.
They both felt the same length for me.
Yeah, no. I know you didn't. I know you weren't with it, but like I was like,
Oh my
Galaxina.
god, I tried.
Because like the thing is like nothing. There's nothing. Like it's like you're saying I understand what's going on, and it's like well, I understand what's going on in both, and they both had muddled stories, but I cared more in StarCrash than I did in Galaxina. Like these cops showed up, and I'm like, your cops, you just do nothing all day. I'm like, so like it. Galaxina was set up to be an adventure. We're these space cops. We go and do stuff, but they do nothing. He just works on the rowing machine all day. I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, what it started off because Galaxina wasn't just a Star Wars ripoff. It seemed like there was a unique idea,
right?
But nothing happened.
But there's there's an element you need to remember though. One was made as a space opera. The other was made as a parody of a space opera.
Right.
That kind of changes the dynamic a little bit because you'll be like, I don't understand why they're doing something. That's because they're making fun of, say, StarCrash and why they're doing it. So it's like, why is that guy rowing? That's the joke. You know, in Alien, where everybody's working out, trying to stay fit for things. That's the joke. So that was also the kind of the disconnect I had trying to compare these two. If there's a movie that we should have had like Galaxina against, would have been like Ice Pirates. Even though we know Ice Pirates would have destroyed it, but as far as tone and type of movie, those two should have been pitted against each other because they were both parodies of space opera movies.
Yeah.
So it changes
you
up a
definitely
little
don't want
bit.
to do that because
Why even bother watch Galaxina? Because we would have already known.
Yeah, for me, if I'm not invested in what's going on, it's over. Like then I'm just like, oh, I'll watch when Dorothy Stratton comes on, and then after that, it's like no.
Well, yeah, because you don't even see her again for I don't know 30 minutes or so in the movie.
Yeah.
Until she goes to that planet, it's like okay, well now it's her movie. It only took an hour.
But now she gets to be the title. Yeah.
So that was the problem with that one. All right. So Sean, pacing. What do you think?
Oh, it's StarCrash for pacing. Because the thing is, it's like they're both short, but like I felt like Galaxina was 2 hours, and it's like it's 84 minutes, and it's like I was stunned. You know, it's just like nothing. There's a lot of stuff that happens, a lot of shenanigans that with those two idiots. And like Avery, with the big mustache and whatever, all that stuff is just a lot of stupidness. And I'm like, and then he's fronting around with that rock guy, who looks awesome. He looks cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like and then there's the stereotype black guy and the stereotype old Asian man, and it's
that's
like
the parody part.
Pardon?
That's the joke. That's the parody. That's the joke.
Yeah, but it's like
but they don't do anything.
But it's too on the nose.
That's
and they
the joke.
They don't pay off or anything. It's like what the hell. No, like StarCrash. I like this kind of. I just gave Galaxina story, but like I do like that kind of like cool shit happens movie. I mean, like Transformers the movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I'm proud to say that. Like I don't give a shit, man. It's
Why would you not be proud of that?
Like Star Chaser Legend of Orion is another one like that. It's like they're all wicked, but it's like it's like just to me, Galaxina, I could follow that story. But like but here for pacing, StarCrash. Like I love the cool like they go here and there's like there's random bad guys to fight and there's it's like old Saturday morning cartoons, Like Super Friends was like that all the time, but yeah, I love that kind of thing. So and I wasn't bored because of that. Like I love those stop motion assholes that they have to fight.
All that stuff.
It's just StarCrash is better paced only because there's surprise after surprise, new cool thing after new cool thing.
Giant guy.
It does pay off that way. So yeah.
Like I saw it as a Flash Gordon, but with the girl. It's like the girl.
Well, it's obviously got its roots in that. It's like that Flash Gordon, another sex sci-fi thing. It's like that thing had firm roots in Harryhausen. Even though it was supposed to be a sex parody, right? But, yeah.
Right. Well, it's like these were made by the guys that grew up watching those
Yeah,
serials.
so you had to shove them in.
That's
right?
why it works like that, and that's why you get that feel.
Like that big that big statue that
It's obviously
comes out
Talos.
of Talos. You know?
Jason, it's like Jason and the Argonauts.
Yeah,
when
the
that thing's
Argonauts,
coming out.
yeah.
I've got the toy of that like right off camera.
I love how she's walking like she pissed herself. It's like
she had like iron nipples. Or
and then when it fell, its fingertips are still holding itself up. You know, it's just so stiff it falls. God, man.
All right, Charlie, where are you at?
I could just throw a name on the wall and it doesn't matter, you know. But just because you two have said StarCrash, screw it. I'm gonna say Galaxina because it took me 2 days to watch StarCrash because I'm just like, I gotta stop. I'm gonna go do something. I came back the next day. I finished it going, yep, still don't know what's going on. The difference with Galaxina is it doesn't do it well, but it hit me in that odd, zany funniness that I enjoy in movies. You can obviously tell Mel Brooks watched this movie before he did Spaceballs. You know what I mean? It's totally got all these tropes and stuff in it. And whatever reason, it worked for me. And as far as pacing goes, while there's not a lot of space action, which there kind of is with the giant dick ship is fighting the Point Dread from He-Man. But awesome. You know, you do get some cool stuff, but I was enjoying the middle stuff, even of just them talking, because I'm laughing at the, you know, insanity of it, how inane the entire thing is. And once you know that about the movie and you're not trying to watch a sci-fi space opera, it changed the whole movie for me. And I'm like, I get what you're doing, guys. You suck at it, but I get what you're doing. But both movies felt like they were 2 hours long for me. Just there's not enough pop for either one. Like when I'm talking pacing, one gets a 0.5, one gets a 1. I mean, just because I can't break it down any further than that. That's how close they are. But StarCrash got it, but I'm just going to throw a name out for Galaxina.
All right, well, Charlie, you can stay on. Go on to artistry then.
So artistry, this is the one I want to talk to most about, and I will save Carolyn and the girls for you guys. What I do want to say, and the thing I will take away from both movies, if anything, only one slightly edges out the other, is I love the model making in both of these movies. All of the ships and, you know, the different, you know, pieces, the giant hand in StarCrash. Awesome. It's so stupid, but I love it. And when it blows up, there's like close-ups of all the little panels. They did it. But in Galaxina, you get these super detailed ships, even for something that's I would have fully expected them to rip off something else. Right. No, they didn't. They ripped off sounds. That's the only thing either movie took was sound.
They always do. Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, who's going to notice? But the fact that they each had their own feel, like I felt like they were in two different like galaxies, universes, and the creatures in Galaxina, when they finally really start showing them, like, you know, almost like the cantina theme, except it's in a saloon that feels like it's in the Old West, and now there's horses, and now we're worshiping Harley Davidson,
but
you know, as
which is kind of neat. So
our Lord and Savior motorcycle. But I like you said, I love the rock monster that you thought was going to save it, but they made the joke like, we were going to have you eat the bars. That should be what you're here for. I don't eat metal and I don't eat bars. Go get a monster that eats bars. I lost it at that point. I'm like giggling in certain things, and I literally laughed out loud at that because I'm like, they totally made fun of themselves right there. And I loved it. And, you know, I think Galaxina was amazing looking the way they did her in this movie. You know, she's revealing yet not, you know, it's that odd kind of costuming that they have on her. And you know, you get the classic, you know, guy with the cowboy hat wearing the Dodgers midriff like shirt, you know, you're just in for it, man. And then the little alien that I don't know if you guys remember it, there was I had the VHS of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it was the little pizza monsters, and that little thing looks like the pizza monsters in that episode of the cartoon.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's something to do with Baxter Stockman or something.
Oh,
like
you mean
that.
the Mausers?
No,
Yeah,
not the Mausers. There's a
exactly
pizza. It's
Yep.
exactly the pizza monster.
It is
I was
exactly
trying
the
to
pizza monster.
I was trying to remember who made it. I think they were actually aliens.
Yeah. My God, it's exactly that pretty much. Yeah, you're right.
And then they go to a whorehouse.
Yeah.
Miss Kitty's. And I think, Phantom just put it on there. And the Batmobile is parked outside.
Yeah, it's totally in there.
Adam West is sitting there ready to go in. I mean, it's artistry. I'm giving it to Galaxina because it just had so much more. But I did love all of the model making and stuff in StarCrash and David Hasselhoff's makeup. I can't not bring that up in artistry.
All right, Sean.
I just want to ask one question. I don't know if I hallucinated this, but
sure.
Galaxina, she has the getup that has the strip that shows the cleavage.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's a plastic thing over it. Was that always there or no?
I think the plastic thing is throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't, and then one time I noticed it, and I'm like, oh wait, was that always there? What the hell?
I think it was.
I that's a tough one. I don't want to watch it again.
Yeah,
but I feel like it was one of those things that it was there, but I have a feeling like, look, those on either movie, those costumes had to be stupid hot and sweaty. So my guess is boob sweat. Got to let that air out for a few scenes, put it back on. Yeah. But it added that shine, and it was almost distracting at times when you watch her, because you're like, is her boobs like plastic? Like not that kind of plastic, but like shiny on the outside.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't there when she first goes into the saloon and asks for whoever it is. And then it is there when she's confronting the main bad guy around that bed or whatever the hell it was. Anyways, for artistry, you make a good case, Charlie, for Galaxina. And it goes towards that whole, working with what you have. Because these movies are low budget, right?
Oh, yeah.
I do like the world building of Galaxy. Like, it's weird. We're watching all these old movies from the 80s when they're trying to catch the thunder of Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's a lot of casual world building just automatically in these scripts. And these things are just things they just dash off and onto the next tax shelter movie, right? But there's a lot of cool small things in Galaxina that suggests a larger world and where people come from and the politics of it and stuff. And it's just stuff that's just in the, I don't know, maybe it's the quality of writer back then. I don't know what it is, but
well, the quality of writer now.
Yeah, well, that's what probably
basic writer back then still understood. I have to have other things.
Yeah,
right? It's now it's just I have to have my agenda, and if people don't like it, I'll make fun of them.
Yeah,
right.
To me, I'm gonna give it to StarCrash only because all the stuff in that speaks to me. I love that everything looks like Hasbro playsets, and I love that. It's like that fist and everything. I love all that cool stuff. They're flying a city. That's wicked.
Yeah.
They have to get to a tomb to fly the city. And I love. This is a weird thing with me. I love Christmas light space. It's when space has, it's not just like a starscape like this, like what J-Man has in the background.
Right.
It's like dots. Every planet and star is a different color because it looks a lot like the old Marvel comics where they'd make this planet's purple and this star is yellow and this thing's blue. And I love that. And to see that realized in live action is awesome to me. I don't know. It's all these Christmas lights all over space. So yeah, I love the robot in StarCrash compared to Galaxina. I love and I love what's his name, Thor. He looks like a freaking DC Comics character, man. He looks awesome. And I love the stop motion guys, even though they're shabby. I think they're done shabby on purpose. So to make them look more stop motion. And of course, there's a random lightsaber. You have to squeeze one in. Yeah, I think there's something really sort of maybe it's the copy I watched, but it's something kind of muddy and sort of dirty and cheap looking about Galaxina, and you can say that's a strength in that it's a lived-in world, but I think it's just dirty because it was dirty on set. I don't know, one thing I'll say about the horror house, I know they're milking it for laughs, but like I don't get, like, you're in a universe full of other aliens. If you go to an alien horror house, you're gonna get weird aliens that, it's like the captain goes up to that one woman and then she's got butterface, right? And then he has to keep bag over. It's like, well, yeah, look where you are, man. It's like, everyone looks like this, right? So
yeah, but you're gonna pick the one you like. It's
Yeah.
like the Asian dude got 3 boobs, and that was before Total
I
Recall.
know. I was just gonna say that after Sean. I was
Yeah.
waiting to see.
Well,
Sean
yeah,
make that.
she had a boob back and boob front, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
They've
there's a
never
girl
done
with
that
three-
before.
There's a girl with 3 boobs.
Yeah. And I do like the one horrified woman that's in pieces in the that was horrifying. And they show her face, right? It's like, oh my god.
You're not expecting that at all when that happens.
The head or something. Good god. But I do give it to StarCrash. I just like the look and feel of it. I like the colorful bright look of it. And I like all the different areas and locales and stuff. And I do like the color gels they use in the background and stuff. I miss that sort of lighting. They used to do that all the time in the 60s and 70s, and they don't anymore. I guess because it's cheesy, but it looks awesome. So I'll give it to StarCrash.
Yeah, for me, it's StarCrash easy. The reason is what you said, but like different creatures, different types of people, different costumes for every place you go to, different locations to go to, cool ships, the colorful space. I love that. That is a Marvel Comics thing. I noticed that instantaneously when I watched it now. I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. Every character looks cool. They look different from each other. I mean, the ships.
Did they? Because I couldn't tell the difference between the Emperor and the other dude that was like in charge, the dad or something. Because I kept going, which one's Christopher Plummer? Like, who is who? I don't know which one I'm supposed to not look for.
I know what you're talking about. You can tell. You can super tell.
Except like the one guy had red. That was probably the only thing that told me he was the bad guy.
Wait, the bad guy in StarCrash looked totally like the bad guy. He was like, he had the.
So did the other guy. I'm sitting there going,
no way.
I don't know, man.
Dude, it's spin out. It's freaking Maniac. It's Maniac versus Christopher Plummer. I'm like,
I was like,
was that who that was? Oh my god!
That was like the 2 days trying to watch this going. I still don't know who the bad guy is.
Oh
At least Galaxina, it's a robot face dude, and I know who the bad guy is.
No, it's Christopher Plummer, like white face, nice man, versus I forgot the guy's first name, Spin Out Maniac. He literally is like the most evil face. He's like,
that's the face. That's evil.
Joe Spinell.
Yeah, Joe Spinell.
I didn't know that was Joe Spinell. Oh my god, man. He's like a spelt, like thin Joe Spinell.
Yeah, he's Joe Spinell, exactly. Cannot be reached. What's up?
Oh my god.
Yeah, for me, StarCrash is like Galaxy. So I was looking while you were talking, Sean, Galaxy. This is the remastered. They remastered it in high definition for the DVD release.
Mine was clean, so it must have been YouTube that sucked on their transfer.
Yeah.
Could be. This did look like the other problem is I'm looking at Blu-ray versus this.
Yeah.
So this did look obviously better,
but
this was supposed to maybe not look as crisp. For me, the colors and the uniqueness of all the different guys. And again, I was thinking like, oh, that'd be a toy. Oh, that'd be cool. I get that toy. It's like, you could just see, it's like, yeah, there's a little, a Stella Star toy, and then she teams up, and then it's like, oh, there's this place that there's like, and then she has to like bury herself or whatever, and then like in the snow, and then the guys come. Like, it's like literally like all that kind of stuff, and the little optical effects and everything. I don't know. Well, I love StarCrash, so I'm like super biased on this movie. And I don't think it's
no, I couldn't tell.
Yeah, well, I just watched it again yesterday. It's not. I didn't watch it as a kid. The first time I saw it was this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'd only ever this was. It's like it's like the first time I ever saw Yor was when the Blu-ray came out. So a lot of these. This isn't Space Hunter.
Did you not have the DVD or no?
This isn't like
Space Hunter. Did you show me? That was a long time ago. You got the Blu-ray all that time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. God. No. I had a rip of it.
Oh.
I had a bootleg of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking about. I didn't have it. I mean, sorry. That's a lie. I watched off the bootleg. I have the bootleg of it. But Space Hunter is like little kid. Like got the VHS tape on my own. I was like, oh my god! And then I watched like 100 times. Right. So like, same with Ice Pirates. Same with Crow. This is like, I had the VHS tapes. So I was like, yeah, and like when it got released on DVD, I got a bootleg copy of it. StarCrash, this is the first time I ever watched it from here. And your bootleg is absolute trash. Like this Blu-ray was like, wow,
Right.
like this is like
It was muddy, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So these are all newer things for me. So it's not like, rose-colored glasses or whatever. But anyways, I love StarCrash. I guess we can go into the characters. Sean, you want to start with characters then?
I'm gonna go with StarCrash only because the characters in Galaxina, I just don't like them. It's like I don't like those two guys, like like we're horny. It's like, okay, well, I mean, I don't know. It's like you have a mission and you're police anyway. And I don't like the captain. I get it, like he's gonna be his persona, but it's all just the old like Catskills, like freaking vaudeville type of humor and stuff. And yeah, I get it, but like but I feel like a lot of the humor in that movie is shoehorned in and doesn't fit because you're ready. I mean, like it looks like you're gonna watch a serious science fiction thing, and all of a sudden, like this guy comes in with all his jokes, and then everything else is following along with them. Like every time someone says like a blue star and like the thing comes on, oh, what is that? And I'm like, that happens 80 times, man. It's like, and then there's a different one.
And then it doesn't, and everyone's like, what? Where's that?
They go to the biker guys, and then there's a different kind of one with a doo-wop at the end, and I was like, that's different, I guess. But then they do it again. I'm like, oh, holy shit. Anyway, the progenitor of that is Avery Shriver. And I don't know. I mean, I could grow used to him, but like he's annoying. I like the rock guy. He's cool. But yeah, I mean, StarCrash, I like all the characters in that ship. I don't know why that you would trust Thor, but sure. He looks awesome. Just bring him along, Right. Scraggly-haired guy, poor man's greatest American hero.
That's all I could picture.
He has the color scheme too.
He does. All I could see.
He kind of looks like the orc costume, like the Marc from Orc costume.
Well, yeah, Marc from Orc. Yep.
But yeah, that guy, I don't know. J-Man, you probably know. Like, was he dubbed? Almost everyone in there is dubbed.
Everyone's dubbed.
Yeah, because that guy doesn't look like he sounds like that. But like, but yeah, I love the accent on the robot. I like him, kind of befriending Stella Star. And you kind of had this sort of impression that like they chase her all the time because they're cops, but like, but now they're they're friends. It's like, oh, I'll protect you from the snow or whatever. That was cool. There's cool moments like that. Yeah, man. I love when guys team up like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I think there are more moments where characters bond in that movie that make the characters endearing to more so than Galaxina. Galaxina is like the love thing between the one guy and Galaxina is jokey, and I don't really feel it. It's like, oh, we can order a vagina and all that stuff. It's like, okay, sure.
She didn't have one, man. That's the joke.
Kids like, oh, they're in the catalog too. Okay, I think the characters are a lot. I would revisit the characters in StarCrash more than Galaxina. So I'll go with StarCrash.
I say StarCrash because I hate everyone in Galaxina except for Galaxina. I don't think any of it's funny. I never laughed at all. I don't think any joke is good. Here's where we're at a point in Galaxina where I completely understand everything they're going for, and I appreciate that they tried, but it wasn't funny, and I didn't care. And it's like, you're the cops. I don't like any of you. You do nothing. Yeah. That's a joke. Well, the cops sit around do nothing. Okay, I got that joke, but they're doing nothing. So why do I care? It's like, we're going to a titty bar, but it's all ugly people, so I don't care. It's like, you right in other movies when that happens, there's usually some attractive people and then some action scene happens. But no, they go there, nothing happens. I'm like, so you went there, nothing happens. That's the joke. Nothing happens. Okay, I got the joke, but nothing happened, right? It's like, what was that? I don't want to talk about that movie now, anyways. But it's like you're doing all these things, but nothing. It results in nothing. You go to this cool spot, and then nothing is a result. It's like, but that's the joke, right? But it's not good and it's not funny. Like
It subverts your expectations, though.
Right, I hate that. Like Spaceballs is
Yeah.
like awesome.
Yeah.
Most of the jokes work for me. I saw it as a kid in the theater.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, this is so.
That's because it's done by a comic genius, though.
Right.
I mean, let's be fair.
Let's be
That's Mel
right.
Brooks.
So it's like, whereas whereas StarCrash is like, I love all the characters. I like every character. It's like, you know, when that guy, when you think the robot guy dies, Eddie, he's like, this is where I end. I'm like, no, get up. You can make it, buddy.
Yeah.
It's like Stella Star obviously is the best. I bought the book, The Further Adventures of Stella Star, or whatever it was, which is now out of print. I like everybody in the movie. You know, I like that Joe Spinell literally laughs, and then he laughs, and then he doesn't know what else to do because the scene's over. But they just like, I'll laugh some more, and he walks up laughing more. I'm like, really? Like, okay. It's like, because it just, to me, that is also part of the humor of that movie too. It's like he just keeps laughing. I don't know. I like Stella. I like all those people. I like that guy's like, he's like, well, Stella, we used to chase you around. It's like, he goes, you were the best pilot. It's like, yeah. And Stella actually matters. She's the one that does the StarCrash. She is the one that pilots the thing.
Right.
So it wasn't like, because they kept saying, oh, Galaxina, but it's called Galaxina, but what does she do? She doesn't do anything except fall in love. It's like StarCrash. It's like, it's called StarCrash. So really anybody there could have done something. It's not like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, where Indiana Jones has to be the winner because the movie's named after him. It's not even called, and they say
it follows Stella Star more than the other guy, because they split up at one point because they're imprisoned on different planets, but they follow her, right? She goes on more missions in that one.
Yeah. Like for me, this is like a your situation. Every time I watch StarCrash, I'm like, I actually did a thing where I said this earlier in the stream. I actually made a fake Stella Star, and I made a fake Galaxina, and I made like a fake Barbarella, and I teamed them up as like a trio of women going on adventures. I'm gonna see if I can find that. I actually wrote like one story where I had, and I can't remember what I called it. I'm sure it was clever because everything I say is clever. Everything I create is clever. And I just copied, like, I had a female robot, I had a female pilot, and then I had a female like mercenary or whatever, and I put them together as a team. And it's just I just ripped off, because look, all these they rip off other movies. I can rip
all
them
rip
off.
offs.
Yeah. So I ripped them off. But like Galaxina, it's like, she's awesome because of who she is, I guess. And I'm like, but everyone else, I just don't care about any. And it's the dad from freaking Monster Squad, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's Galaxina's boyfriend. He's the dad from Monster Squad.
Wow.
And if you listen to the commentary for Galaxina, you will like it a bit more. If you can find because the guys in it, they're like, yeah, you know, we want, and it's explaining everything they're trying to do. They're trying to do all this cool stuff, and they're like, you know, it was a comedy. It was supposed to be a Western. It was supposed to be a Western spoof.
Yeah.
And they literally said, no, guys, we're going to do like a space. It's like, oh. So then they're like, well, we have to figure something out. You know, the rock eater guy eating that crystal at the end is kind of funny. Like, everything's there and it sounds funny.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I'm like, I just, no.
Well, that makes the old West things even funnier. You can't do a Western movie. Okay. And they put Western stuff in it.
Right.
That makes it even funnier now.
They had the stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so Charlie, where
I'm staying on the same thing. I'm going Galaxina.
Oh my God!
I liked Carolyn and I liked David Hasselhoff in StarCrash. I hated that stupid robot and his accent. Well, here we go. Oh God, I hated it. I did one. I was like, give him a robot voice. I hate that voice. And then my two favorite characters have to kill the movie for me at the end, where they're like, Simon, Stella. So it's like it kept going. They wouldn't shut up. I was like, just stop.
It needed to be 90 minutes.
Exactly. They just needed that extra amount padded. I didn't care about anyone else. I could never stop looking at that guy as, you know, the greatest American hero, or the guy from House, the movie, just because we have and it's just like, I just can't with you. I'm not in Galaxina. I'm sorry, guys. It was the only one that kept my attention. I laughed at the jokes, even if they were crap. I loved Captain Butts when he comes out of cryosleep, because he didn't actually get to cryosleep, and he looks like the Shaggy dog for the rest of the movie. I giggled the whole time when the camera's like, because he'd pull his hair back and then let it go if he didn't want to talk to anyone again. The alien running around the ship was probably my favorite character. The bad guy, the bad guy, when they're trying to talk to him, he's like, "What's your business here?" He's like, "I don't want to talk to you." It was like it's the whole beginning of the second Star Wars new trilogy, where it's like, "I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Can you say that again a little?" That's all I could picture. I love the two guys. It's just the comedy struck me right. It was just once I understood what they were doing, I was in for it. The sex doll joke. 'Cause I love the fact that we made a freaking hot robot and you can't touch it, so you'll get electrified or anything. And the guy's like, "Worth it. I'm going in anyway."
Right.
And then they kept making the jokes. I love the vagina joke. I thought it was hilarious. We can order that. The kids, it's in the catalog. It's like I'm here for it. Then it eats the stone. The whole premise of the movie gets eaten, and they're like, "Well, I guess we got to go back and get another one." I was like, okay, yep, I know what you did. I like this movie way more than StarCrash, even though it still sucks. Don't get me wrong. I don't care who wins. StarCrash is going to win this one. I'm just making a case for Galaxina at this point, and I don't care. It's all there is to it.
Dude, Hamilton Camp was RoboDuck.
Oh, wow.
He was Flintstone Kids, Barney Rubble. And Chef Smurf, or whatever that guy's name was. The Smurf with the chef hat or whatever.
I think he was just the cook.
Greedy Smurf or like...
No, Greedy is...
Greedy, Papa, Strong
I think he was... Greedy was like he still ate a lot or something. I don't know. Don't look up Greedy Smurf.
I need to know. Oh, yes, that's right. He ate a lot. Yeah, that's why he was...
Yeah, he was the...
See, I know my Smurfs. I got the whole thing.
There you go.
I won't tell you how I got half the whole thing, but I do.
It should be called Fat Smurf or whatever. Smurf. Well, enjoyment, I'm going to say StarCrash. For all the reasons I've explained, I love this movie. Charlie doesn't like it, so that's fine.
I'm going Galaxina. You can just go ahead and put me down for that. That's the movie I enjoyed the whole time.
Oh, my God.
I don't care. It's fine.
This is insane. This is insane. I don't even have a thing for that. Oh, can I play this one for you?
Sure, play it. You're not going.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
I knew that was the one you were going to play. Totally fine with it. I told you I could write the names down, wad them up, throw them up, grab one. That's my pick. That was it.
Oh man, I don't know. StarCrash. Like I was close to making the Facebook group, but I can't. Yours, my boy.
We got to keep that one going until we get a good manageable group number in that one.
I'm gonna do your teaming up with Stella Star. That's happening. So I can get Stella in there for sure. Stella Star is like one of the best cinematic characters of all time. I'm going to just say that right now.
Looks wise, I'm there with you. 100%.
It doesn't matter why. It just matters.
No, you could totally see her in other adventures. Like she has her own agency, and people rely on her throughout the whole thing. Like she seems more like the brains of the operation.
I will never knock Carolyn in this. I mean, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you could not be reached. That's Galaxina was just. Yeah, and like I said, we're comparing a parody to something that was more seriously done. So there's going to be a disconnect somewhere. There has to be. And like I said, it just struck me a little different. Put StarCrash up against Space Mutiny, probably would have gone with StarCrash, even though, I'll make the joke that I'd rather watch Space Mutiny, but that's just because of Red Brown. But I do have David Hasselhoff. I love me some David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
But
and what you were saying before, Charlie, about the ships and everything. Yeah, I don't think they lifted them from anything. It's weird.
No, I think they're all original.
The story on that. They so the producer, the director and producer and all that based it off of an artichoke. And there's a certain artichoke, I can't remember where he said it was from, like some other country's artichoke, and it looks really weird. And that's where we got that idea from. And then the bird is just the bird. But
that's cool, that bird, man.
Yeah, I love that bird ship. It looked cool.
The interior was supposed to be like the inside of a living organism, which is why you had those weird, and it was foggy, and it was like because he wanted to be like look, so before this, well, Sean, what did you enjoy more? Just and then we'll talk about the movies.
Well,
we've done.
StarCrash, I could
StarCrash,
watch that
obviously,
more
right,
than.
yeah.
Look, Galaxina is awesome though. It's like
Yeah.
because you're like, oh, maybe you shouldn't have rented it. No, it's cool. I
Well, that's what I was
was
just gonna
trying to
say.
rip it from my rental, but I couldn't do that. But anyway, but yeah, it's cool. It's like it's the kind of thing I own already. I do like I like the when they show the bird ship and they're doing the graphic sort of thing. It looks like 16-bit graphics or something, but back then
Yeah.
that's like 1980 or something like that. I was like, wow,
It's amazing
that
stuff
must have
back
blown
then.
people away.
Oh, Galaxina has the guy saying this. It's like using computer technology
Yeah.
for effects, and he's like, oh, this is like the first movie to have some kind of. It's like 1 or 2 shots only or whatever, right?
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies that claim this. Yeah.
Yeah,
but-
everyone claims this, right? So
Yeah.
I can't.
It's the Tron thing where everyone says Tron's the first one, but there's
Oh,
well,
Yeah.
we used like 15 seconds of this
Yeah,
in
but
our movie first. It's
Last
like,
Starfighter, honest to God, maybe I'm stupid. I didn't know that all those ships were CGI when I was a kid.
no, I
I
didn't know
thought they
either.
were. I had no
Not
clue
as a-
until the
not as a
DVD
kid.
came out,
yeah.
and they were talking about it. I was like, oh my God, I never knew that it was all CGI. It's like it's
Mhm.
kind of photorealistic.
Mhm.
Like there are
Well-
some models used in the background, but like when they're flying around in that asteroid and everything and Death Blossom and all that, that's all CGI. That's like
Yeah.
1984.
You can
But
tell
that-
it's CGI now, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was also on a CRT TV, probably on a
Yeah.
VHS. So
Yeah.
when they
Well,
did
it's on
that,
a
it was
theater too, but
yeah. Even then, it was not what we're used to now. So
No,
you could
yeah.
hide a lot of it. Now, when they've done things like we're watching these on Blu-ray, things definitely look a lot faker, you
Yeah.
know, and that's just because now we're not hiding anything, you know. And that, again, I'll stand on that soapbox forever where I feel like sometimes, like I just watched RoboCop on my 4K. They left the commercials and the news segments in the like old
Good.
school television look,
Yeah.
so that when RoboCop starts, you feel like, okay, now I'm not watching the television, I'm watching what's happening in
Mhm.
real life, basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love that, and I wish more movie like people that do these redos understood that dark needs to be dark and light needs to be light, and you need to still hide things that were meant to be hidden from
Yeah.
the viewer to
Yeah.
not destroy, you know, the experience you're gonna have.
yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta
not
be
like
careful.
the high definition version of the original Clash of Titans where you can see like the wires around Bibbo. It's like, well,
Yeah,
dude, you're defeating the purpose now. You know.
I was just gonna say I could see the wires on. My wife and I always recycle through the Star Trek shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just finished Undiscovered Country. We do the movies. So Undiscovered Country saw wire in where the 2 assassins go on the ambassador
Yeah.
ship and kill David Warner.
Mhm.
See the wires when they're floating around. I saw wires on frickin' Part 5, Final Frontier. I'm like, oh man, I saw Undiscovered Country 1,000 times.
Oh, same.
I never saw the wires.
Yeah.
Now you can see. And Double Impact, I did not buy the Blu-ray. Double Impact's one of my favorite Van Damme movies.
Yeah, because you're gonna see the
You
separation.
can
man.
tell that it's like, oh, that
Yeah.
guy ain't
Yeah.
nowhere near the same. Like when I watched it on VHS, I still got the VHS. You're like, this looks like
Still-
pretty good.
Still looks like, you know, it's Van Damme standing next to Van Damme. I mean, it's
It fooled
yeah,
people.
that's my whole thing. Like my when I really noticed it was I watched Darkman, and there's
Oh, I
an
love
alleyway
Darkman.
scene in high def, and I'm like, I see way too much. Like
Yeah.
it killed the whole feel of that whole scene.
Wow.
And I'm like, you need, like, whoever's doing this, you can't just go adjust this. That's where it's going to sit. You have to go, nope, we need to bring that back down.
Yeah.
We need to darken this area back down. Now bring it back up. And
Yeah.
again, they're too busy about let's get it out there. It's high def. Everyone's going to buy it and they're going to do it.
Yeah, I'm an old man when it comes to high def now because I don't because
No,
it's
I'm
like
the same way, man.
yeah I'm like some of these things I'm fine where it is now, and I know that like some people like I know Steve's a big high def booster, but the thing is that like it does make things look crap at times. It's like I remember when I first popped in my newer version, it's just DVD of the Man with No Name trilogy, and it's like and it looked the first two looked like stage plays, and I was like, oh
Right.
you
They
know
almost
what,
look like
I've gone a
soap
step too
operas on
far.
some of them. Yeah.
And I was like, I
You
don't
gotta-
like this.
You got to
Yeah.
adjust. You know what the thing is? Okay, you gotta adjust your settings on your TV.
Yeah, you
for
have
that.
to do it for some.
I know, but I don't want
Yeah.
to.
But
No, no,
yeah,
but
exactly. I'm with Sean though. It's like
Yeah.
don't go that far. That's all I'm asking. It's
Yeah.
like you're right there.
I can
All
see
the
it.
controls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
fun. Like this isn't like VHS versus DVD. Like we saw the difference. Like
Yeah.
the opening crawl of Monster Squad is the litmus test.
Right, you
Like
can't see
even on
straight
TV airings, I couldn't read that because it was red on black
Yeah,
and
they
it was
screwed
like
up. They
blurry.
blew it. They blew it.
But on
They
DVD, it was
blew it.
fine. I was like, that's perfect. You
I watched
don't
that
need to
last
go any
night.
further than
Can't
this.
believe I'm talking about that right now.
Yeah.
So I've seen Monster Squad. We watched Monster Squad when it came out. We immediately formed the Monster Squad.
Yeah.
Oh, every kid did. Every
My,
kid
te-
did.
my test was like really hard, but it was like in Scream when they call Drew Barrymore and he's giving this test. I'm like, "That's your test." I'm like, "Okay, buddy. If he'd called me, he'd still be on the phone." I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna come kill me because I didn't answer his question? Fuck you, buddy. You're gonna answer my questions. So I'm gonna come after you. What are you gonna do?" It's like, name me who all the characters in the first Basket Case movie. Like, name, you know, it's like, you know, I'm gonna get the real test here on this guy. Anyway, remember Bobo? Do you know who Bobo is? Bobo was just giving you a little test.
Give you a little test, man. He comes up from that couch or whatever. Yeah.
Bobo was just giving you a little test to see how smart you have. You didn't do very well. It's like that's Alone in the Dark. You ever see Alone in the Dark, Charlie?
Not for a long time. I haven't seen Alone in the Dark. Yeah.
He's Art the Clown before Art the Clown. I'm wondering if Damien Leone had seen.
Oh, he must have. That guy's
you would have to believe that.
Yeah.
But anyway, but like, yeah, no, I mean, I'm not upgrading anything. I'm not buying 4K. I have a 4K TV because I bought a new TV and I bought 4K.
Same.
My Blu-ray, I only have a Blu-ray player, which is surround sound, and my surround sound is actually linked into the Blu-ray player. So when I watch normal TV, it's not surround sound because it's just through the TV, but I hardly watch normal TV. If I watch it through the Blu-ray, it's the surround sound. So for me, Blu-ray with surround sound is perfect. I don't need anything better. I've gone to Steve's place with a 4K TV, and he's got a sound bar, which is not the same. It's not bad, but not the same. And he showed me these, and I thought, this is a barely noticeable change.
Yeah.
And in some of the movies, I couldn't notice the change at all.
Right.
So I'm like, if this comes out in 4K, I'm not buying it. Like I wouldn't like this is it. I'm never buying this again.
Right.
I'm never buying it.
Yeah.
I'm not even buying this again. This looks good enough that I feel that if you Blu-rayed this, it's gonna be ass. Like you're like, because this movie was already low budget. They did the best they could. I certainly don't want it because it looked pretty good to me. Like I know it's a bit foggy, but they wanted that.
The best example is TV shows because we talked about the $6 Million Man Blu-ray set.
So
I was waiting for it, and then I was like, why is it $200? Like, my God, why? It's like it's the same standard definition stuff that you could get on the DVD set, which is $35. So I bought the DVD set. I was like, I'm not spending. It's like any of these things, they're standard definition anyways because they're from the 70s and 80s, and. I did buy the A-Team Blu-ray because I love A-Team. But my DVD set is the same, you know. It's a little clearer on Blu-ray, but like you don't need for a lot of these they tell you standard definition they're still on Blu-ray. If the Blu-ray is the only thing, I'll buy it. But or if it's something I love, I'll buy it. But for the most part, the DVDs of like I Dream of Jeannie and all that stuff are just as good as the Blu-rays, which are way more expensive.
And I seriously got like original Star Trek. I have the Blu-ray, and I think I gave you the DVDs, right, Sean? I gave you those clamshell.
Yeah,
they're right there. Oh my God, they're right there. That's it.
Yeah.
I gave you those, right?
Yeah.
So my Blu-rays have the redone visual effects, and they cleaned up the whole.
That's cool, and you could talk between the two.
You can talk. It's literally a blue button on your thing. You can watch original Star Trek.
That's a good enhancement.
That's a good enhancement.
Actually. Yeah.
So that's worth it. So I gave Sean my other because I don't need those now.
Yeah,
but $6 Million Man, I bought that when it came out 100 years ago. I was like, I'm not upgrading that. Same with Bionic Woman, A-Team I already had. So I mean,
I love A-Team.
I'm an A-Team freak.
Murdoch is obviously.
I just watched There Goes the Neighborhood, where they're in a suburban neighborhood, and And
Get
there's
out of
one
my
scene-
freaking head, dude! I just watched that one.
Oh
last
yeah,
night.
and
Oh
Mr. T.
my
So there's an
The
alarm
guy
clock, right?
shooting the guns
Yeah,
in the
everything
cul-de-sac.
blew up in the 80s. So there's an alarm clock, and Mr. T wakes up and there's a country music, and he slams his fist on it, and it doesn't just break, it blows up. It's
It
like
blows
because
up.
it's the 1980s.
Marky
Yeah.
Post from Night Court is the
Yes.
rock and roll chick that's in there.
Yeah. And she was unrecognizable. I was like, oh my god.
Really?
this
Yeah.
is
If you
Marky
didn't know who
Post.
that was, yep.
Oh my
Get out of my head, Sean. I was literally just.
That's so
You guys
weird.
have talked about
I
Monster
watch random
Squad.
episodes.
Oh,
Season
God.
4 is my go-to, but they're all
Yeah.
good.
Oh, I can watch them constantly.
Because season 4 I think has 2 Hulk Hogan episodes. So yeah.
Yeah, I like, yes. You
You
showed that
got
one
really
on
good
YouTube.
cameos. Yeah,
Yeah.
really good
Boy
cameos. as it goes.
George. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
My
Well,
Walmart's got Knight Rider, the whole series for $20.
Oh,
and
I got it.
want...
This guy.
Oh
There's a
yeah,
Blu-ray of that though too, but
there is,
Yeah.
but I mean, like you said, if I get it on DVD, it's gonna be just as freaking good as
Yeah.
Blu-ray because it was a TV show in the 80s.
yeah.
You know,
And unless they do like Star Trek where they literally enhance every scene,
and they're not
What-
gonna do
they're
that
not
for
going to do that.
Knight Rider
No,
or
they're not.
A-Team.
You're going to see a lot of
A new
poor
improved
quality.
kit and car. Yeah.
They did because like even with Star Trek, if you watch the regular enhanced one, like just the regular enhanced Blu-ray, not the digitally changed up, it's like things look shittier. Like
Yeah.
it's like it was meant to play on a garbage screen.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the communicators and the phaser. You know what the phaser is? It's literally a black piece of wood that has like a knob, and you're like, it's terrible.
Yeah,
Like,
they were not high-end props back in the
No.
day, man.
no.
Even on Next Generation, they weren't that high-end of stuff. It was called, what do I got in the crap bin over here? And I'll make something for, there's a guy I'm in one of the groups with that he was one of the prop guys on there. And he'll show like random things like, hey, I just found this. It's just this weird ass piece of plastic and I used it. Yeah, stuff like
Hang on,
that.
weapon. Like you're like, it's an iPhone.
You-
stamp.
you-
It's
you
an
see-
iPhone,
Yeah.
like, it's
You'd
like-
see like Dr. Crusher pop that out to do a surgery right then
Yeah.
and there. You know, and that's all it is. Yeah.
You're like, okay, we've done it, Captain. And you're like, what is this?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just funny.
I love.
But-
Well, we met the Monster Squad director.
Yes.
Oh,
for,
Fred Drecker.
Night of the
Yep.
Creeps. Yeah.
and he did Night of the Creeps as well.
Yeah.
And I got to sign both, and I got to sign my VHS copies of Night of the Creeps and Monster Squad. Monster Squad hadn't come out. No, it did come out on DVD, so I had the DVD, but I took the VHS because that's what I wore out.
So one of the shows on our network is the monster movie Stomp Down, and me and him created these two characters called Stompy and Frank, and they're little monsters. And he went and had puppets made. So we do a show with those guys, and he's Stompy and I'm his little brother Frank. So last night is their first time watching Monster Squad,
Oh my god!
and us basically Mystery Science Theater through, and it comes out on Halloween. But yeah, that literally, you guys start talking about that. I was like, I literally just watched that last night
Yeah.
at his
saw it in
place, just
theater.
recording. It was hilarious.
I saw it in the theater. I was blown away. I was like, and no one really talked about it. It came and went in
No.
theaters.
Well,
It's
it
a
was
TV
made.
favorite, right?
It was
Yeah.
made for us, and even last night watching it, I realized going, man, this isn't that great of a movie. Like I have a lot of nostalgia for it,
Yeah.
but when you really watch it as a movie, it's like this movie is not good. It's really not.
I love it. I've memorized
I love it, but it's just like
I don't
that-
think I could even critically rock until you drop that song.
Yeah.
I have it on my
Do you,
phone.
Joe?
I have it on my phone, and I've listened to it once like 7 times in a row,
yeah.
and like literally, and then the Monster Squad rap at the end, I'd memorize that.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah,
and-
I love that ending where this like Dabney Coleman guy comes in,
yeah.
and it's not him, but it's like
It's not him,
it's some dude that looks like him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What in Sam Hill's going on here?" It's like, "Who are you guys?" Like, "We're the Monster Squad." And then it pulls back,
out the business card. That
Yeah,
you're like,
because-
they make a whole point to show him cutting the business cards
Yeah.
just to hand him a business card.
and I love trying to. He's like, don't kick the church; it's religious. That's funny, but also where they're like, it's fucking. He's like, why don't he goes? Well, we're just going to do it out here. He's like, well, that's really religious, Sean. Why don't we go do it at Burger King?
Right. Let's just go to Burger King. Did you hear about the car he's driving? No, what about the car? It's a coroner's thing, but that's not the worst part. It has a silver skull on the hood. Oh, like, oh.
Scary German guys like.
That's his name.
Yeah.
Your last
In the
chance for pie.
Pie, yeah.
What is that?
We laughed about that last night because we were watching through the credits and it goes, scary German guy. He doesn't even get a name in the movie.
That is his name.
And I'm yelling at the parents like, this little girl has run around all this neighborhood unsupervised the entire movie until Frankenstein shows up.
Yeah.
And that's the only one that's took care of her since then.
We got to do a Monster Squad appreciation. Look, I haven't seen it in a while, but I still remember. She's like, Sean, you have to let me in the Monster Squad. Mom says you have to let me in, otherwise it's prescription. He's like, that's discrimination, jerk off. Prescription's drugs, which you're on if you think you're getting up here. It's like, I memorized like every line. Oh God! And the people with cat heads and all that.
All these Goonies ripoffs, man. It's like that's the monster one. There's Explorers, which is the sci-fi one.
I like
Here's
Explorers.
other ones, man. But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like Monster Squad way more than Goonies. I told you I wanted to beat up every Goonies.
Goonies is a litmus test for how old you are, because it's like I loved Goonies for years, and then one day in my 20s I watched it and the kids were too loud for me. I was like,
I hated them. I'm like, I want to kill all these children, and I'm like, what happened?
We let our kids watch it and all of a sudden went, wow, we got to watch a lot of weird comedy when we were kids, because we're like, I don't think they should be watching the Goonies right now.
And the penis falls off that thing, and that's my mother's favorite part. Like,
as us, that's what we're looking forward to till you look at your like 7-year-old daughter looking at you watching the Goonies, and I'm like, no.
Yeah. It's cool, man.
Yeah, so we've gone into Monster Squad.
Yeah.
You see, I would get that. Moonlighting's getting a release. I saw the other day.
Oh yeah,
they finally figured out the music licensing. That's
that's
what's been killing it. So I was like, I'm gonna buy
this.
that.
I never saw this as a show. As a channel.
Cool.
Wow.
The real one, not the stupid movie.
Wow.
And of course, Voyagers, because I remember this as a kid. But
yep,
I don't have that.
But yeah.
That was kind of similar to like, what was it, The Librarian or something like that? Yeah. Well, we've gone all the way down the 80s nostalgia after we do our space opera tournament. There we go.
So StarCrash got added in there. Next week is the People's Choice, Crawl versus Ice Pirates to fill that last spot.
That's right, because Enemy Mine was too good.
Yeah, I put too good in the. I highlighted and put too good.
Yep, I see it. It really was. So I think this works out to our favor, getting those two back in.
Yeah.
And then really see if they can stand back up against Yor.
I mean, yours my favorite movie, so that's it. Like, but I'm not gonna be able to be trusted. You're gonna
no, you're not. I already know you're not gonna be able to be trusted.
No, this match showed that. Yeah.
There's one other movie though that's really in there that I'm like, it's gonna go far.
I mean, I honestly like. I mean, all of these are pretty. I mean, Space Raiders is going down.
Yeah, definitely. Battle Beyond is going to go down.
I wasn't on that stream due to reasons, but like I didn't tell my Space Raiders story. So like Space Raiders, I rented that multiple times. But I guess when it came out, there was a slumber party that I had. It must have been like a birthday or something. And so look at this double bill. It was Space Raiders and Dolls. It's like
I love
it was freaking
Holy
awesome,
crap.
man.
Wow.
It's like, because I was like, oh, this looks cool. And back then you could just rent anything, right?
Yeah.
So and we enjoyed both. Like Dolls was the last thing we saw.
Oh yeah, you gotta watch Dolls before you go to sleep. That's how that works.
Yeah. Well, that teddy bear that turns into a monster is wicked.
Yeah. And so Phantom Outsider, no, Enemy Mine's not in it.
But he's saying it's Grand Champion because it's too good.
Oh yeah, it's too good.
It was.
Well, no. Well, hold on, because then it would be up against Enemy Mine would have to go up against the other movies that were too good to make it, right? Like it ain't gonna beat Star Wars if we put Star Wars, right? So it's like
I don't know. That's weird. I don't know,
right? Because all the movies that were too good we should do that. It was too good. No, I don't want to do it too good.
We didn't choose Last Starfighter because we thought that was too good.
Right. So Last Starfighter versus Enemy Mine. That's tough for me because
That would be really tough because I'd have childhood nostalgia plus what I consider a really, really well done movie.
I agree with yeah.
That's
All right.
that's a tough one.
All right, so Sean, continue your thing. So you did Dolls, which is awesome.
Yeah, Dolls and that. So no, that was my story. I mean, like Dolls, I remember from childhood as well. But it's one of those things that I didn't remember the name of it for years. And then it was like, what was that movie we rented? I don't know. I guess I was either 10 or 11 when we saw that. But yeah. And Space Raiders, I mean, there was a movie that I grew up with. Maybe I was on that stream. I can't remember, but I can't remember telling that story.
I didn't know. You didn't tell about the star or the doll story. I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Were you here? You weren't here for Outland, were you?
I was here.
Oh, you know what? I can tell you. Oh, hold on a second. Let me see.
Maybe I just forgot to tell that story. I don't know.
Oh, no. Hold on. We're going to find it right now.
It might have been one he wrote in on. Because he wrote
York versus Crawl was me. Was the three of us.
Yep.
Mute. Battle Beyond the Stars and what was the one we What was the other one we watched on Battle Beyond the Stars?
Space Mutiny and Battle Beyond the Stars.
So Space Mutiny was all four of us, like Steve included. Ice Pirates, that was
I wasn't in that.
You were not there, but you gave us your ratings through the phone.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was just ranting.
Metal Storm versus Space Hunter. You were not there for that.
Okay, so that's the other one I wasn't there for. Yeah.
And then you were there for Mutant and Galaxy of Terror, and you were there for Outland and Saturn 3. Enemy Mine and Arena, you were there.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the one? Space Raiders.
Space Raiders
versus who? Who was that?
Oh, so
it was Ice Pirates, right? Yeah.
You weren't there for that one.
So you just must not have got your sleepover movie story told.
Yeah. But I mean, I remember I remember I told you my parties were awesome because my mom would let me do whatever I wanted. So I rented Ghost Town, which is you can't see the poster here, but
no, I'm well aware of what that one is. Yep.
I love Ghost Town.
Sorry. My other part of that story is that same thing I rented. It was from Johnson Video on Finch and Middlefield, I think. And it's long gone now. But when they were going out of business, I bought a box of tapes, and one of them was Space Raiders. So it's the exact one I rented as a kid. I have in the basement here. So yeah. But it's a clamshell that they broke up the box and put into how they used to
cut it out and shove it in a clamshell.
Yeah.
I hated that. That's how I had my bad taste. My bad taste. He's like that, right?
Yeah.
They actually they actually pasted another finger, so he's going like that. They actually pasted another finger on it.
Yep.
But my Ghost Town, I still have the VHS copy. It's the copy I rented every year for my birthday for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And then I actually just said, "Can I just buy this?" And they're like, "Yeah." So I've got the VHS top copy that I rented, and I got the poster, which is you can't see it's off screen. The skeleton poster.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think this could be it. I'm not 100% sure. Let me just check before I say something. The first image, my phone. Here's my images on my phone. By the way, my phone has like 2 family pictures, and I have 300 movie pictures and wallpapers. The first picture. Ghost Town.
Yeah.
Ghost Town.
And the Virgin expanded HD photo, so you can actually look how much you can zoom into it.
Zoom into the town behind it. Yep.
And there's no Virgin means there's no text.
Right.
So there's no logo or anything. And I've got the other one with the gun in the eyes, like the orangey one. First image. I love Ghost Town.
Good old Stuart Gordon movies, man.
I
love them.
Yeah.
Friggin' it's like Jimmy F. Skaggs and all that is like super pumped. All those guys. It's awesome. Anyways, but okay, so let's take a look again. So here's where we're at. And then Ice Pirates or Crawl will go into the blank section on the left.
Yep.
And then we have to figure out the next round. So we will figure that out next week.
Okay.
So think about this, and maybe see who do you want to see pitted against each other, and then I'll put them in the spots in the actual bracket. So,
okay.
But yeah, I can't be trusted on your.
No, I know. What's the one?
I might not be able to be trusted on StarCrash.
What's the one to the left of Space Raiders?
We got
Battle Beyond the Stars.
Battle Beyond the Stars.
Okay, yeah.
So
Huh.
Battle Beyond the Stars maybe could fight Space Raiders.
Well, that's what we were thinking before, and that makes sense.
We can do like, yeah, I don't know, like this is tough because like
That's going to get real tough.
It's
I almost
really
wonder if we should just do like drop a
Random?
name in a hat and randomize it.
yeah, I was thinking that too. Maybe maybe I'll
Because-
just do that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the best way because we could sit here and stack it out where we can eliminate a couple, but then you're going to have heavy hitters that are just going to
Yeah.
bitch slap some of these movies.
Man,
You
if,
know.
if it's your versus StarCrash, I'll die.
If it's
Like,
your versus Space Hunter, I'm going to be pissed.
Oh my god, those
Space
are my
Hunt-
three.
Space Hunter's going to be tough, man. That's kind of my
I know.
pick. I know.
I was so excited. I knew you wouldn't care about these ones, but I was so
Yeah,
excited. I was so excited for you for Space Hunter because I thought, oh man. And then I wasn't sure because I was like, I loved that as a kid and I watched it so many times. I'm like, I wonder if is it good or am I crazy? And when I
No,
rewatched, I was like, man, no, this is pretty awesome.
still so freaking good, man.
It's awesome, right? I know. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you said, I was like, oh man, Charlie.
That's-
I knew this would be a bit of a look. I know StarCrash is a poo movie, but I love it.
And that's fine. Like I said, I don't care who won.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm sitting here pissed off that Galaxina didn't make it. Literally, I'm just playing the bit where I'm just like, screw it. I'm just going to keep backing this movie. I backed this horse till the end, damn it. I'm
Yeah.
pushing it across the finish line. I don't care.
Yeah, it's hard to beat it's for me StarCrash, but no,
That's
Space Hunter's
fine.
pretty solid. I'm like, I don't know, like
That's going to be a tough one to me.
I think this is like this. I mean, I think Space Hunter might go all the way. We'll have to see.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, there's a lot to say about Outlander.
Yeah,
My love of Yor is what's going to keep that one in the
I
running.
love
for as
yours as
long
well. So if we're both
Yeah.
on that stream, like
Sean and Steven are gonna like set up this little like gang up against Yor on us. Yeah,
I drove to Steve's house and showed him your. He better vote for it. I'll be very.
it's like, I know where you live.
I literally, yeah. It's like, well, I know where they both live. Though I go to Steve's a lot, and he's very close by. And yeah, so no, it's like, yeah, we've got.
Well, I've loved Yor for like 30 years, so I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
so
like,
that could have been 30. Oh, you saw your before me.
yeah, as a kid, yeah.
Oh, I never saw your. Yeah,
Yeah.
I never saw your. So I bootlegged it off of you then. If you had it. Did you
Yeah,
have
no,
it?
and I got that from Fango.
Fangoria.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm getting like 100 messages.
the
now.
greatest show ever. I don't know, it was awesome. When I went.
Oh, someone's commenting on my Terrifier 2 review. But
I gotta watch it. Yeah.
oh, yeah, we'll talk after. Okay. I guess that's it then. We've got our winner. So next week we're doing the People's Choice.
Yep.
And then there'll be a Tuesday stream, and I'm not sure about a Thursday stream. Maybe I'll see how I feel, and we'll just go from there. All right, guys, are we good?
Sounds good to me, man. I'm good.
All right. Until next time.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.